Hello, and welcome. We are now live. Okay. Um, so those of you who were here yesterday, you saw me, or watched the live stream from yesterday. You saw me do the modeling for the pipe supports, the little mini project that I was working on. And I apologize for the horrible audio on that. That was unexpected, and it didn't evidently pop up until the live stream started. So I apologize for that. And for those of you who did make it through that video with all of the noise, I thank you for watching. I think I've cleaned it up. I had what I think was a grounding issue on my computer, and so I changed that. I fixed it. So I think we're good now. So at any rate, today we're going to the focus of today's live stream is to get through the drawings, to create the drawings for the pipe supports that we made yesterday. So that's what I'm going to do, and I'm going to try to do that within an hour. And if I can't do that within an hour, then we're just going to probably stop it. But I think I should probably be able to get there. So this is this is what we had from yesterday. We have all of our pipe supports. They were fairly simple. If you didn't see it yesterday, they were fairly simple, not much to them, and I don't anticipate any major problems creating the drawings today. So I'm just going to jump right into it, and this is essentially exactly where I left off yesterday. I haven't done anything to them since then. So what I'm going to do right now is I haven't really even checked over them because there's just not that many of them. So we'll start with I need to perform a numbering, and I want to make sure my numbering settings, I use the same settings all the time, except this first time we're going to renumber all, and we'll go in and we'll perform on everything. Okay, so now everything's been numbered, and I will go into my numbering settings now, and we will untick that. And now I'm going to go to, and we're going to go ahead and just create the drawings. And the drawings that I usually create for these, you'll see here. So we go into create drawings, and I'll bring up the create drawings master drawing catalog. And I'm just going to start off with creating assembly drawings for multi-drawings. This is what I normally do. And then we're just going to select this and say, first off, let's select all. And then let's bring that back up and create drawings. Now this should create, I haven't seen it yet, so we got 1, 2, 3, 4. We have 5 pipe supports. There should be 5 drawings. So let's open up our drawing list. I have 4 drawing. Oh yeah, probably 4 because these 2 were the same. Okay, and I want these to be, do I want those to be different? I think I want, these 2 were modeled exactly the same. They're channels, they're C6 channels, I believe. C6 channels, and they are 3 feet long, but they're different pipe supports. So I'm going to make these different because yeah, I think I want them to be different. So I'm going to go into here. I'm going to change a user field. It doesn't make any difference, or I'll use a comment. I think comment changes if you had, no, I think it's the user field. I don't remember. We'll try it. So we're just going to call these PS2. And let me just, and then I might as well do the same with these, except we'll call these PS101. Okay. So let me go back into my numbering settings. We're going to renumber all again, and we'll renumber everything. So that changed my drawings. So let's just go ahead and delete these, and then we will, let's just create drawings again. Oops, select all, dang it, and create drawings. Nope, that doesn't do it. Well, I need to make those different, so I thought that would do it. It doesn't. Let's see if there's another. Let me see if there's something else we can change. It seemed like there was one on here that we can change to make it different, but I'm not seeing that. So let me check my numbering settings. Okay, let's do this. Let's go to phases. Yikes, we got a lot of phases in here. So let's delete. Yeah, delete. We don't need any of these. Delete, okay. This we're just gonna call steel. It's not gonna let me do that. Let me create a new one. We'll add, we'll make this our current one. We'll come in here and add, change this to steel. And then we're just gonna call this steel 2 because it doesn't matter. Can't do that. Call it steel 2. Okay, and then I'm going to move these to there. Modify phase. Okay. Now, let's select these. Change number. I'm going to clear the part in assembly numbers on all of those, and then we're going to renumber even though the number settings are renumber all. I'm going to include phases. Oh, okay, there is a advanced option that allows you to do that. Enable phase option and numbering true. Good, we don't have to restart. So now let's go back to our number settings, phase, apply, okay. Create drawings, select all, create drawings here, and create drawings. Perform numbering. Forgot to perform the numbering. There we go. Now we have it. All right. Let's get rid of all that. And don't need that. Now we've got our drawings. So when I load these up, I don't know how well that looks on the screen. I can always make it like this if that's better. White background, black background. Doesn't make any difference to me. You guys let me know what's easier to see. This is one of the reasons why, and I talked about this yesterday in the live stream when I modeled these, I use, if we go to any one of these, I'll just go to this one and bring up its properties, you can see here that I use Notes 1, and I have a new feature here that I want to try out, and it is a magnifier. So if you see here, I use Notes 1, and this has the PS3 on it. So the Notes 1 has the name of the assembly, what I want to call it. So, and I can change that at any time. Okay, so that's a neat little magnifying glass. I like that. That's a Windows feature, by the way. So anyway, now that we have that, go back to here. That's not what I want there. That's where this name came about. Now I'm probably going to change that to say pipe support, PS-01, but we'll do that here in just a little bit. Let's see. So this is how I normally get my stuff that comes in. This is just a plain channel for right now. That may change in the future, which is the reason why I want to break out PS-01 and PS-02, because those may change in the future. This is shown as exact. When you show channels like this in exact, you see you get all of these extra lines in there. So I don't like that. So I always go workshop form for these, and then it gives me 2 lines, and that's usually okay. It actually turns out pretty decent. So once we do that, everything else is good. So we can start with our dimensions. Oh, yikes. Something else that I found out in 2018 is that you have to change your standard. They changed the way that your arrowheads are used. So right now I have my arrowheads with the width and with the height and the width, their length being a 16th and then 5/32, and then that also set my, if it was a tick, it also set that as well. Now it changed that, so it doesn't use that anymore. So what I need to do is change these both to be a 16th, and I'm going to say modify and apply, and then we're going to save that as a standard. I also want to save this as transparent, so we're going to save that as our standard. Everything else looks good. You can also go to the assembly drawing or your sheet properties by itself and go in here to dimension and change that. That's for your precision. You go to appearance and you can change it here as well, and then it will, we're going to actually I'm going to take and load that, and we'll change this to transparent, and we'll change this to 1/16, and then save, modify, apply, and save. Okay, now whenever I go to put on a dimension, and this should carry through, now the dimension turns out okay. Now this is my main dimension, so I have a mark for this, which is my main mark dimension, and basically what that does is it makes yikes. Again, you got to change all these. Apply and save. Oops, that's not what I wanted to do. My standard is not that. Oh my. Okay, so these are green. I just messed up my standard. That's not a problem. That should be 0.15. They're not bold. Those are good. Marks are good. Marks are good. That's good. Modify, apply, save as. Okay. Now, I think we're about back to where we were. So I'm going to load up the main mark. Okay, so that's loaded. Go to appearance. I want that to be transparent. I want this to be 1/16. And then we're going to modify and save as. Okay, so now we have our dimension on there, and then I'll take this and pull it down there, and then this is also set up for beams. So if you were to have clip angles on the ends, got to change that back too. If you had clip angles on the ends, would normally put the length of the beam. So on this, I can actually take that out. So now it just reads what the piece is, what the part is, and then what its size is, and then the overall length. And then what I'll normally do for these, just so that they're not all by themselves, is I will do a section on the end. Just come in a little bit. We'll show that on there. Now the thing I like to do with these is this shows like a regular section on here. And I have one, if I load this up, I have one that I use as a standard, which is hidden. So whenever I make it into a hidden, it basically changes the properties, the color, to an orange color, and this orange color is a special color. When you go to print stuff, it doesn't print, so it's invisible when you make a PDF, or I think even when you plot. So I make it orange, and I also, as far as the section marks, I take off all the marks on it. I don't need any markings on it at all. And then I do just a standard symbol, just to have some indication of it. So now whenever I click modify, you can see here that I have this piece, which is my section cut, so I can still reference this, but whenever it actually goes to print, which if I hit it again, this is what it'll be without all the line marks or the line weights. But this is, so that's what it looks like. So anything that's that orange color is going to print, or it's not going to print. So anyway, that's my in section, and I just throw that on there just to show that this is in fact a channel, and then I can take this and align it horizontally from here to there. And then we'll move these both together, kind of move down here a little bit, and then we're good. I'm not going to change the size of my border. That's not important right now. So actually I think I will. So if I come in here, I can double click, can go into layout, and then the layout, I'm going to do a specified size, and well, we'll make this about 10, and we'll say 4. About 8 and 3. Yeah, might as well get it right in there. That looks good. Okay, so, and that is our first member. Pretty simple, since it's just a plain member. Okay, so I want to save that. So that's our first one. You can see that our second one is exactly the same, so I'm going to clone this one. I'll do that by, let me go over here so you guys can see what's going to happen here. It's all going to happen over here. So I want to clone my B1 channel that I just did, and I want to make my B2 channel look just exactly like that. So B1 is the one we just did, and B2 has not been done yet. This is a fairly simple thing, but for this particular beam is fairly simple. So what I want to do first is, in order to clone, I need to select the channels in my, I want to select the members that I want to change the drawing of. I want these drawings to be, I'm working on these drawings. So I want to select those in the model. So I go over to model and select objects. And you can see it selects our 3 objects that we have in there for this particular assembly. Now I can delete that sheet because I no longer need it. And then I'm going to say, I'll come up here and I'll select this drawing because that's the one I want to clone from. And I have these selected. So now I can say clone. And I'm going to clone from the current model and the select drawing. I've already selected it, so it's already there. You can also clone from another model if you know which one you want. I want to clone everything. I don't select those. I just clone everything. And then I say clone selected, and that means make a drawing of what I have selected in the model using this that I have using the sheet that I have selected as a template. So we say clone selected, and there we have a new drawing. Then it says that it's been cloned of these. So whenever I open that up, you can see it is exactly the same. This is a PS02 though, as opposed to the PS01 that we had. So that's how you clone. And I'll probably be doing that again. So if you didn't catch it the first time, I'll show it again here in just a little bit. So now we have our 2 channels cloned. And now I'm going to load up this one. This is our beam. So a couple of things. We want to show the part representation as, I want to turn the fillet edges off. because for some reason that gets turned on. And exact is fine. We'll say okay. Also, while I'm here, the dimensions are also set up as they were before. So we're going to load the standard. We're going to make those transparent. Okay. And then we'll save as. And we'll modify. And maybe apply. Load, modify, apply. Okay. So this one is a little bit different. First off, I don't need those. We'll go ahead and put our overall dimension on. We will set that to my main mark dimension. Move that down. And so I have two ways to do this. And I think what I'm going to do is, first off, I'm going to take that off. I'm going to show a top view on this. Now you can do this by going into your settings for the sheet and clicking on the views and then setting the views that you want. That's certainly one way to do it. That's not how I'm going to do it in this. If I had a lot of them, I would do it like that, but just to make it easier. But this way is just as easy for me too. So I'm going to create another section view along the top, looking at the whole thing. And we're going to double click on that, load hidden, modify, and then I'm going to make that by hitting apply now, that's going to make that my default. That's going to make that my default whenever I go to cut another section again. So we'll take this, I don't need that. We'll put this up here, somewhere about right there. On this, I want to show the reference line, which is also the center line. And while we're at it, we're going to go ahead and cut another section on the end here. And I'll zip in there to get that bolt, or that hole. And you can see here that since I said apply on the last one, this one just shows the section like I want it. And we'll leave it like that for right now. Now we'll go ahead and dimension these up. I'm going to dimension the holes. And just to show that they're centered like that. And then we'll do vertical. First we'll define what the web, or what the flange is. And then we'll do the holes. Like that. Those will leave out. These I want to make inside dimension. Huh. Isn't that weird? Okay. Okay, then I'm going to call these out. Part mark, I want it to be up here. And now we can align these. Line these vertically, like that. And I'll align these horizontally from the top to the top. And while I'm here, we'll throw on a dimension here to here. Oops. Do dimension from there to there to there. Still not clicking on the right places. Add dimension point there. Take that one out. Okay. That's good. Now something about these section marks here is if they cross over, these aren't going to print, but they'll still print like a ghost. So if you have them over part of your piece, like right here where, oops, right here where this section cut line intersects with the dimension line. So there would be like a little tiny dot where it didn't print there, and that's minor. But if you had these in farther, where maybe this was, I'm just going to move this over. If this was like this, which obviously it wouldn't be, but if it was, then wherever this is, you'll see wherever it crosses all these other lines, it won't print there. So it kind of like erases them. So that's something to keep in mind whenever you place these, is to make sure that they don't overlap dimensions or whatever, because it'll make the dimensions look all choppy. So it doesn't just not print them, it prints them like, it'll print them white, I guess, if you want to look at it that way. So let's align this one horizontally again. Okay, align there to there. It is hard to see white, so I'm going to switch this. See, like right here, this is going to cover that up. Okay, so we're aligned. I'm going to pick all three of these up, holding down the Control key, and we'll move these down a little bit. Okay, and then obviously I don't need this that big. So let's go into layout, specified size. We're going to make this, no, 8 probably, and then we'll make this 6. That's close enough. We're going to call that good. All right. So there is our beam. All right. So that's PS3. Now we're going to go into PS4. And these are a little bit more complicated, and that's turned. Okay, so let's do this. Just to get the settings, to get all the settings from the last one I just did, I'm going to select the objects. And there they are. We're going to delete this, and then we're going to select the beam we just did, which is B3, and we're going to clone, and we're going to clone selected, and then we'll see what that gives us. Okay, not exactly what I was looking for, but we can work with it. Actually, we're not going to work with it. We just got the settings over there, so I'm going to go over here to View, and we're going to modify. Let's see what this gives us. Turn that on. Attributes. I want this to be model. Okay. That's more of what I would like to see in this. That is going to come off. That's going to come off, and we'll leave these part marks for the plate. And then this W5, and then I'm going to change in the edit settings here. For the main part mark, for the primary part, we have that set up as main part, so I'm going to go into part marks, set up primary mark. Nope, that's not it. Edit settings. Okay, I don't have one set for that. Primary mark is primary mark. Okay, so we're going to go into primary mark. I'm going to load up primary mark, and we're just going to make this, remove that, and we'll select these and remove that. I just want it to be the part position, or the part position. Make that green, make this 0.15, take the bold off, or modify. Isn't that interesting? In all views. Modify. And I want that. Modify, apply, okay. Well, that's interesting. Okay, so if I say add part mark, it's not going to do it. So let's go to edit settings, secondary. Okay, I don't have one to call out secondary parts. Secondary profile. So let's go to part mark, secondary profile. Okay, for secondary parts in all views. I want it to be transparent. I want that to be like that. And we're going to say modify. I don't want it to be profile. I want it to be part position, and I want it to be green and 0.15 and ISO that one. There. Okay. Save as. Now I should be able to. That's really weird. Unless I take the primary part mark. Sometimes if you move these, let's move it up. Okay. So now, but I should be able to add part mark. That is really weird that that's not working like that. Main part, secondary part, part position. Modify, apply, okay. Okay, now let's call that part out. All right, we're gonna leave it like that. I was just playing around with it. You can tell I don't really have these all set up. So anyway, we're gonna call that out there. We're going to take that off. We're going to move this over. I'm going to show the center, or the reference line, the center line on that. Okay. And then let's go ahead and do like we did on the other. We'll do a section view on the top. And we're just going to go ahead and show the whole thing. We'll do a section view on the side. And again, just windowing the whole thing, that's fine too. Take that off. So these are, okay. I want to show the center line here. And we'll show the center line here. I say center line, but I'm using reference line because my reference lines are drawn in the center. Okay, so now let's do some dimensions, not detail view, vertical dimension. Just get these all dimensioned up. And we'll go ahead and throw on a overall. And then here, going to, not a vertical, but a horizontal. I'm going to tie down the holes. Let's move this over. Just kind of move that up a little bit. Maybe even do that. Maybe 5 is going to be here. And then I'm going to take a dimension and put here. Awesome. First piece. First view done. Almost. Let's see here. On the top, I'm going to duplicate some of these dimensions. So another neat little thing you can do, see, like I just tied down, I'll take this dimension off, I'll put it back on. Even if you take these and you say, show me the reference point, it puts a little dot right in the middle because that's where I have my reference point, is right in the middle. And it gives you a place to dimension to, so I can give a point and then you can click on that point. So, neat little thing. Always been there. Or always been there as far as I know. This is W5. And then, like I said, we're going to duplicate some of these dimensions because that's what we do. I think you can probably, in most cases, not put on too many dimensions. I think some people think that. I've seen drawings that follow that guideline. Too many dimensions is confusing or what have you. I don't feel that way. As long as all the dimensions match. So like these two dimensions are a foot, these two dimensions are a foot. As long as that's a match, then you're good. Okay. And we're going to call some stuff out. Now I'm going to move this over here. Going to call some stuff out here. Need to call that out. Whoa. Oh, that's right. So we're going to pick up this. Going to not have this, that. I'm going to select that. Oops, where'd it go? Say modify. Oops, don't need the label. Modify. Okay. So now take that off. Basically all I did was I took the settings that I had for this view and just copied them over to this view. So that's my W4. There's W5. I'm going to move this over here. Put this over here. And throw some dimensions on. Now I'm going to align these first. So I'll align my views so that these are straight across, and then whenever I put my dimension on, from there to there, and there I can snap over here so that my dimensions line up across the view as well. And then while we're at it, I'm going to move this over just a little bit. We'll go ahead and put these vertical dimensions on there too so that they make sense in this view as well. And put on the vertical overall dimension. Alright, this one needs to be lined vertically from there to there. And then we're just going to take all these views and kind of put them right about there. Now I need to just reading the comments now. Let's see here. Frenchman, hey, how's it going? I always use the first color, the gray one with the dotted line, since it's a non-printing layer. Yeah, that's as far as I think you're talking about these, the color of your section cuts. If you don't want them to print, you can use, there's other special colors. I just always use the orange, but yes, there are other colors that you can use that don't print. So that's, and I don't remember which ones they are, to be honest with you. You're saying the first gray one with the dotted line, or I think that's what, oh, or yeah, okay, at the very top. You can change it to that color as well. That is, I always call that the ghost color. Yeah, if you want to change them to those, that basically sets it to a non-printing color as well. That's a good point. I don't know why I never use that. I use it for text and other lines, things. Yeah, but anyway, for the these are just special colors. All right, where was I? And hello, Stuart. Nice to see you could join. I don't know Freebird, but I will learn for next time. How are things in Florida, by the way? All right, so I'm going to show some welds. while you answer that. So yeah, we're going to show the welds. Where did my weld mark go? Oh no, there it is. Weld mark. That's fine, but I don't need the typical. Let's scoot this on over. Bring that up. I don't need it to say typical all the way around. 3/16. That's good. Modify. And then we'll show another one. Here to there. Select these. Select merge. Oops. Merge. Oops. Again, don't need that. Merge, okay. And we'll make them look like that. Awesome. Okay, need to take that off. We need to do the same thing we did here. I'm going to unselect all of those. Nope, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to select all of them and unselect that, that, and that. Select this. Say modify. Okay. Don't need that up there. We'll call this out at part mark. So it looks like all the others. And then something you probably all already know. I'm going to go in here. So you can see that this piece that I have right here is completely hidden by this piece right here. So it's all hidden. If I come in here and I want to add where is it? Fittings, near side, far side. It doesn't put it on there. It should put it on there. It's clearly on the far side, but it doesn't do that. So what I usually do, which I think a lot of people do, is I just come down to text and add a piece of text. Put it over here so you guys can see it. That just is far side in caps, FS in caps. So a little bit, not annoying, but it's just something you have to do. I'm so used to doing it now, it doesn't really matter. Okay, so that should take care of this one. In the, see, make sure we got everything. That looks good. So as far as that goes, now that one's done. So we just finished that one. This next one looks very similar to it. As a matter of fact, it even turned it the wrong way, and it didn't really turn it the wrong way. It turned it the way it was supposed to turn it. So that's my fault. So what I'm going to do with this is, and since it turned it the same way, whenever I go to clone this, these two are going to come out very, very similar. So we're going to do this one the same way. So we just detailed these two here. These are very close to that. So I'm going to take and select, again, I'm going to clone. So I'm going to select my B5s. I'm going to select those objects in the model. Then I'm going to delete my drawings, or my drawing, from my drawing list. Then I'm going to select, this is the last one that I had just did, the last one I just did the drawings for, B4, which are for these over here. And now I want to clone, and I want to clone everything from this current drawing that I've selected, and I want to clone what I have selected in the model. And here we have that. And when I load this up, magically these are almost exactly the same. So I knew that this was probably going to happen. But for the majority of it, it's all the same. So this looks good. That looks good. Obviously this we're going to have to split. I'm just going to put this here. And I'm going to just take and move that one up there. And that takes care of that. We have this up here. Oh, that looks good. That looks good. Dimensions are fine. So we are good. And I will change the view. Not the view. What am I doing? The layout. I'm going to change the layout. We're going to make this a little bit taller. We'll say 8. This would also be a thing as far as these go for the specifying the size. And this is something I was going to make this on a wish list or something into Tekla. Is to make these drawing windows a little more dynamic, because I find myself doing this all the time. I'm constantly changing this view window, and the only way to really do that is in the layout, and you have to change the drawing size. So that changes this yellow line that I have here. And it would be nice if you could do that dynamically, so that I could select this yellow line and then have it to where I could make it whatever size I wanted, or even input it directly, you know, or to make it more dynamic. Because a lot of times I don't really care what the size of it is. I just want it to be bigger than what the content is. So I think that would be a neat little feature. Just a little feature, nothing big. Okay, so we're done. And so those are our assemblies, and I'm going to leave them channel, beam, 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 even though they're all pipe support. Actually, no, you know what? I'm not going to do that. I'm going to, let's do go properties. We'll unselect everything because I don't want to change anything else other than the name. And the name, I'm just going to call it pipe support. And then we'll select them all like that. Okay, that's the only thing. The name is the only thing we have checked. So I just hit modify, and now they're all called pipe support. And it's all for show because it doesn't change anything in the drawing itself. Oh, you guys are chatting again? Swampy. Oh, yeah, swampy down in Florida. I can imagine. It's been pretty warm up here. It's probably pretty warm down there as well. Hey, Christian, thank you for the observation. Very informative videos. I appreciate that. I'm glad you find them helpful. Let's see. What do we have here? What is Chad saying? So, have you run into any fabricators that request 3D views or files? Or is it all primarily still 2D drawings and details that they would work from? That's a very good question. Actually, I do provide 3D drawings. The drawings that I provide, I can take my model that I have here, and I can actually export this out into a format called BIMsite, or not BIMsite. Yeah, BIMsite, Tekla BIMsite, which is a free program that all my clients can download. It's free to use, and basically what it shows is the same model view that I'm seeing here, or something very similar to it. And they can actually go in and zoom and fly around and orbit and do all of that. So it's a very nice program. I'm glad that Tekla offers that free, because my clients do use that, and that's about the extent of the 3D file. But I still have to give them drawing files because that's what the shop works from. I don't think anybody is, or any shops, or at least none of the shops that I'm aware of, any fabricators that I'm aware of, are actually able to take the 3D drawing, you know, as it is here in this model like this. I don't think I know of any shop that can take these and work off of them. So, or to be that automated where everything is done using automated machines, so using CNC and whatever. So yeah, it's a good question, but no, I still give them PDF 2D files, which is what I'm preparing here, as well as I also give them the 3D files that they need, or that they actually request, and a lot of them really like that. I think it's neat, and they do too. So to finish this up, I'm going to do, I'm not going to give them just these, because as you can see, none of these have any titles or anything like that. And these are just the assembly drawings, and these were created for a multi-drawing. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to come in here, and I'm going to create a drawing, multi-drawing. It's going to be empty. 100, no, I don't want it to be 100. we're going to make it properties. We're going to make it 1. And it's important to know what you want your sheet number if you're using multi-drawings. It's important to know what you want your sheet number to be before you start putting drawings on it, your assembly drawings on it. Because once you put the assembly drawings on, once I put these on, these all have numbers of, so these all have numbers B1, B2, B3, B4, B5, and that's what they are right now, but those are temporary. When I put them on a multi-drawing, they're going to assume a new number, which is going to be the sheet number, and then A, B, C, D, E, F, G, whatever, on up from there. So what you don't want to do is have the wrong sheet number, because if you do, you have to, it's a process. I'm not going to go into it, but it's a process. It's not easily done. It can be done, and it can be done in a few steps, but it's always best if you know what your sheet number is going to be to make the sheet number that first. Okay, so now that we have that, this is number 1, sheet number 1. So it's a multi-drawing. It will start to populate a bill of material as I link all these drawings. So now the next thing to do is, not used to doing this on one screen, so I'm going to put this here, put it right here, and we'll just start loading these up. And these are in order, so that's good. So I'm going to just say, I always just right mouse click, you go to your drawing. This is how you link them. You go to your drawing list, you right mouse click, and then I always say link drawing with views, link drawing views with layout. And when you do that, it automatically pops it on here. You can see it just popped up right here. Sorry. All right. One of the joys of a Canon camera is that it only stays on for 30 minutes at a time. So that's what just happened. So that's on there, and I'll just move that around. And then also you can see that up here, it also put on the, you put it in the bill of materials. So we'll continue on here. I'm going to put that one there, and then we'll load in. And then you also need to insert them in the order that you want them. So you can see that this one was called out as 1A because that's the sheet number in the first one, so that's A. When I put on the second one, it's going to be B. So let's link that. So that gets put on there. It doesn't matter where I put them on the sheet right now. B3, we'll link it. You can see that these are getting the next numbers. 1B, 1C. We'll link this one. And then we will link this one. And then you can go about from here. Now we're done getting those all on there. So they're all on here, and you can see up here that we have them all listed. One of the things I'm going to do is, and I'll show you that, I'm going to call these pipe support instead of just PS 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But first off, let's just kind of move these around. You can arrange these automatically, or I just kind of move them around. It's not that big of a deal. And that's that. So that's what it looks like on a white background. Everything looks like it's okie dokie. So now let's come out of here. We're going to save this. So now what I need to do is I want to change them from being just the pipe support number to pipe support, or I want to also call out pipe support. So I'm going to come up here. I'm going to select these in the model. I'm going to use my drawing list. Once I have my drawing list created, I usually use that to select all of my individual pieces as I need them. So now that those are, I'm going to hold down the Shift key, double click to open up my properties pane. I'm going to come into the notes, and I'm just going to type in pipe support, and I'm just going to abbreviate that because that's probably going to be what I need to do. Now that I have that, I'm going to come into this one and I'm going to select those objects. They'll pop up here. I'm also going to put in pipe SPP period. We will copy paste, modify, do the same thing here. And I want to show you this because you'll also notice when I'm done, oops, I selected that one manually, select objects. Oh, that's interesting. Oh, I see. That's the reason why. Okay, well then we will select, since there's different pieces in here, this is the one that I want. The verticals have the number on them. So modify that. And then for this, we'll do the same thing. I'll just select them manually, I guess. All right. Now what's neat about when you use the UDAs, like I did there, I used the note UDA, it doesn't invoke a renumber. So I don't have to renumber anything. If I go back to my drawing, you'll see it automatically calls them pipe support. It automatically does whatever I had done to that UDA, it just carries it right on through. So that's what's nice about that. And looking at them now, I might just call them pipe support, but I'll do that later. So that's what's nice about using the UDAs, especially when you want to, if it's something static that you want to call out a part mark, or you want to call out what a piece is, and not necessarily its part mark and assembly mark, but what the piece is, the name of the piece. Makes it nice because you can always go back through and change the name of that without having to renumber, which can always lead to more problems. So that's the reason why I use those UDAs, the notes UDAs, to do things like this to make things more dynamic. So, and that I timed pretty well, I think. I didn't ramble too much, but I got them done. So that's basically my deliverable. I mentioned it yesterday. These pipe supports, I don't have any erection plans or general arrangement drawings. We're just giving them the piece details. The shop's going to fabricate these, and then they get shipped out there with the piece marks PS1, PS2, PS3, and then those get located based on wherever they need to be, because that's the other reason why I'm not really providing any general arrangement drawings, because I don't know where these go. So I can't, me giving them a general arrangement drawing would look exactly the same as the assembly drawings. So with that said, I think that wraps up this particular one. Oh, Chris, let's see here. There's more chatting here. I ignore this every now and then. I'm sorry. I mean to keep up with it as it comes up, but now I'm looking at here. Johnny says, hi. You can always record a simple macro to change the layout size quickly. That's true, but I think it would be nice to be able to do it dynamically. Like we can change, you can change section cuts, for example. Like if I wanted to change the section cut limits, I can do that just by picking these up, moving them around. So that's nice. I just wish that the outline would be about the same, just that same functionality, to where it just makes it easier, because like I'm saying, a lot of times I don't need for it to be precise. I just want it to be outside the boundaries of the content. So, and I always have to do that, sneak up on it. So, but yeah, you can make a macro to do that, maybe even to increase it, decrease it. That would be nice to have two separate macros to make it, I don't know how far you'd get into that, because you'd want to expand it in the horizontal direction and the vertical direction, and going out and coming back in. So yeah, that'd be something kind of neat to do. Christian says, I've been asked for 3D views of assembly on the drawings for more complex drawings, and I do that as well too. I sometimes give 3D drawings, 3D views on the drawings themselves, a couple different views if needed. just to kind of help them out a little bit if it's a fairly complex structure. I think the last live stream, or a couple live streams ago, I had some bulkheads that had pipes in them, and that was one of the live streams I did before, and I was kind of showing those and how I did the pipes, and then they also had these bulkheads that the pipes fit into. And the bulkheads had a bunch of plates and some angles, and there were some holes in it, and some bolts that they had to provide, and then the plates had collars. There was all kinds of stuff going on with it, and showing all the separate views. If you studied it, you could figure it out, but a picture's worth 1,000 words, and that's what we do. So that's what I do too, and that's a good point, is that putting the 3D views on the drawings, even though it's a static 3D view, sometimes that helps out tremendously in the shop. And I have been asked to do that on occasion, and a lot of times I'll just do it automatically if it's something that's complicated. So, all right. I think that winds this down. That was kind of what I wanted to show. Yesterday I did the model. Today I did I said yesterday that I would do the drawings today, maybe, and so I had some time, so I thought I would do that. Thought it would be interesting and something else to throw up on the channel, because I know people like to watch how other people do drawings, and that's how I do them, and that's pretty much how I do all of them. Of course, I got off on a little bit of a few little tangents in there, trying to get things to. I'm still transitioning from 2017i to 2018, so there were changes that were made, little changes like the arrowheads for the dimensions, and I still don't have those down the way I want them, but I need to change those, and I still haven't changed those through on everything yet. So that's something I do. There's a couple other changes I need to take care of as well, and I was just trying to figure some stuff out as far as with the piece marks. That used to be a little bit simpler to do. But anyway, I need to. That's something that we as Tekla detailers always have to do that. You're always you're constantly fiddling with things and making things the way you want them. So that's the way I work. Johnny asks, do you use new Drawing Content Manager side panel implemented in 2018 version? Drawing Content Manager. I have not used that yet. I haven't had a chance to use that yet. I need to look into it though. I do use the Drawing Content Manager. If I remember correctly, and correct me if I'm wrong, I think that's for like your drawing library. It used to be your 2D drawing library. I don't know if that's what that is, or is it something more for the drawings themselves? I haven't even gotten into that. I haven't gotten into that yet. And is that in 2018 or 2018i? That one I'm not sure about. I did see it though, and there was a video that Tekla Structures put out the other day where they talked about it, and I haven't even watched that one yet. So it sounded promising though. I do use, speaking of that, I do use the 2D drawing library, so hopefully maybe it's something on that, because that was actually pretty easy to use, a lot easier now, but there were little quirks with it that weren't that big of a deal. I worked around them, but once you get I used it for the 2D drawing library, which I don't have here. Let me just open this up. There it is. The 2D drawing library. What's the other one here? Drawing Content Manager. Okay, let's get rid of some of this stuff here. We're going to close that. There's my 2D drawing Content Manager. Okay, yeah. No, I do not know what that is. I assume you select things. Nope. Okay, I'm not gonna play with it right now. But I'll take a look at that. I have not had a chance to use that yet. It is pretty obvious right now. Oh, you guys weren't even seeing what I was doing here. Let me get back over there. I opened up my drawing. This is my 2D library that I had opened up. The Content Manager is right here. And I don't have... I'm just kind of messing with it here. Yeah. So I'll have to play with that. I'm not exactly sure for checking drawing content. Okay. I will take a look at that. It looks like it might be, or it sounds like it. It looks like it might be something that I might be using here. I don't necessarily use all the features that come with Tekla, but I do use quite a few. The new features, things like, and I mentioned this yesterday in yesterday's live stream, that I don't use necessarily all the features when they come out. Sometimes I have to work into them, or I have to find a situation where I would actually need them, and then that's whenever I start using them, such as like the organizer. I haven't really done too awful much with the organizer because I haven't had necessarily a need for that just yet. And the spiral beam, it's awesome that it's there, and I see maybe being able to use that in the future, but I just haven't had anything come up to where I needed it, so I haven't really used it. So that's how a lot of things go in the Tekla world. I think that people use the commands that they use, and they get comfortable with what they're using and how they model and how they do the drawings, that you get kind of into that. And unless something comes up that enhances what you already do, then a lot of times you don't necessarily get into those, but into the new features. But I do like the fact that they are there. I do like that there's if the need comes, you have something to use that for, or that you have something you can use to do that with. So, and the same thing with the organizer. And I know they've changed the organizer a lot over the past several versions. So, and that's just something I've never really gotten into. So, but I might. One day I might. So, anyway, I think I'm going to end it here. I've been rambling on enough. We're going to call this job, I'm going to save it before the power goes out or my computer locks up. So anyway, that's that. And we're going to call this job complete. I'm going to do a little bit of touching up, obviously, before it goes out. And that was it. And I thank you guys for tuning in, for watching. If there's anything that you missed during this and you want to watch it again, it's going to be up on the channel. And obviously, if you weren't here, you're watching it after the fact anyway. And something else that's kind of neat that I have noticed here recently is that when you watch, when a live stream is done and it goes up on the channel, that after it's been up for a little while, and it takes a little while, maybe a few hours after it goes up, the live chat, so anything that was in the chat will be displayed in real time from the live stream, and the chat will come up as it was put in during the stream. So you can actually see everything that was put in, which is nice. Didn't used to be that way. At least I know it's in the latest version of Chrome, but I don't know if it's on every browser or every platform that you use to view YouTube videos. But it is available if you go to the actual YouTube page, the actual page on YouTube that displays the channel, or displays the video, displays the live stream. You can now view the live chat. So that's awesome. You can't respond to it, but you can always see that it's part of the feed now. And then also, if you are watching this after the fact and you do have questions, you can leave them in the comment section below. I try to answer all of those, and to the best of my ability, if I'm able to. If not, maybe somebody else can see them. Whoever else goes through them, maybe they can answer them and help you out. So, once again, thank you for watching, and everybody have a good weekend, and we will see you in the next live stream or in the next video. Who knows? See ya.